Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Peace, Love, Faith, Divine Union. I am Kanisha. I am a certified Ascension coach, and I am in harmonious union with my twin flame. And I am here to help support you on your twin flame journey, on also healing your mindset from a lack poverty mindset to a abundant mindset, helping you understand any limiting beliefs you may have through my content. And my goal is to really help you become the best divine version of yourself while also manifesting, maintaining, and thriving in your union with your twin flame. So let's jump into this video. And the topic of today is what the actual goal of twin flame union is, because I feel like a lot of people think the goal is the person, and that is not the truth. So I'm here to help debunk that belief so that we can start manifesting this union, but in a healthy way, and the true divine way, and seeing it what the actual purpose is. Now, if you want a soulmate connection, then yeah, the person is totally the goal. But ultimately, the goal is really becoming your most authentic, divine, best version of yourself. And you're just like, how do I do that, Kanisha? That doesn't make any sense. I feel like I'm so far from that. So, what I want to share with you guys is that from the very beginning, the goal is really understanding that unconditional love is the purpose of the twin flame journey. It is a self-love journey. And this was really hard for me at first, because when I started this journey, I remember looking in the mirror and thinking, okay, I'm supposed to figure out how to love myself. And honestly, like, I don't even like myself. I really hate parts of myself. So how am I going to figure out how to love this part of me? I remember having to look into the mirror, and I was doing a mirror exercise, not the one that we do with Twin Flames Universe, but the one that I think it was like a maybe Abraham Hicks or something along the line. And the exercise was looking in the mirror and saying, I love myself. And I couldn't get it out. I could not get these words out. I cried because I was like, I am never coming into union because I cannot love myself. This is not happening. But I did have determination. And I did come to the realization in that moment that I did want to love myself. I did want to love what I saw in the mirror. I did want to love spending time with myself and being in my own space. And I really understood that I couldn't do that from a place of control. I had tried that before, and it really wasn't something that I was excited about, and it wasn't something that I could really chase or force either. I knew that it was going to take some time, and that scared me a little bit. Like, how long is it going to take for me to get to this place in order to manifest my union? In order to be with the person that I really desire to be with, that my heart is feeling called to, how long is it going to take for me to love myself to get there? So that is really the goal of coming into union with your twin flame, is coming into union with self first, coming into that space of unconditional love. And the reason why I share these teachings with you is because it's not to just give you more information. I really am working on not just like throwing up twin flames on you and sharing more of my journey and my stories with you in hopes that you can relate to it, while also integrating some of the teachings and helping you understand more of what a twin flame dynamic is. I used to watch so much content from so many different people who spoke on twin flames who weren't even in their union or even knew who their twin flame was, and they spewed a lot of separation consciousness, like the masculine is still asleep and you're awake. That's false, because you're one consciousness. So if one of you are awake, you're both awake. Just crazy stuff that just kept pushing me deeper and deeper into separation and into this belief that this was never freaking coming together. Like, I was on, like, if you're hearing twin flame speakers talk about what wave you're on, click off. Click off, okay? They're just going to keep you on this belief that you're not going to be coming into union into 2042, okay? Like, don't do that to yourself. So my desire is to really share The truth, and the truth is the fact that if you're desiring union with your twin flame and you're willing to do the inner work, you're willing to find those places that aren't in alignment with love, and you're willing to bring love into that space, you will inevitably come into your union with your twin flame. When and how is not up to you. That's up to God. You surrender that to God. But you do the inner work. You do the work of the day. And that is to learn how to love yourself in these places where maybe you weren't loved as a child, or you weren't loved in your previous relationships. You ultimately are going to learn how to become your ultimate lover. And because this awareness arises within you, so many powerful things will happen when you really truly go all in with the work, and you realize that the answers you've been seeking the whole time have been within you, and ultimately you are the answer. Like you're everything that you've been seeking, and it's gonna feel like things that used to feel unattainable are now starting to come to fruition. So I want to start with the love that you're seeking. One is not outside of you, and it's not meant to be this super high, like super exciting, like intense, oh my gosh, I can't live without you. It's actually meant to feel really peaceful. And straight up, this triggered the heck out of me when I first came into my union, because I was confusing peace with boredom, due to the fact that I came from some very chaotic and traumatic relationships and a childhood. So anything that felt really peaceful almost was like, there's no passion, there's no spice, there's no blah. And it was because it wasn't actually peace. It wasn't grounded in peace, and it wasn't grounded in love. And I was seeking the super excited, super anxious roller coaster, what's around the corner, the shoe's about to drop kind of thing. And ultimately what I found in my union was that it wasn't super high, and it wasn't this super anxious roller coaster dramatic thing that you see on most rom-coms. It was actually very natural, and it felt like home, and it actually felt like, oh, like my nervous system can actually relax. I can actually relax. I can actually just breathe and just be. And that's what I started to learn about romance that you share with your twin flame and your ultimate lover, is that it's meant to be peaceful. It's meant to feel like you can just breathe and just be. And that was completely foreign to me in every relationship I ever had. My union with my twin flame is completely different than any other relationship I've ever had, whether it was platonic, romantic, family, any of that. It's completely different. And it's really the key, is recognizing that your union is meant to be peaceful. You're meant to meet your twin flame in peace. You're meant to meet them in love. And it's more than enough, honestly. And not that these other relationships weren't enough, but what I realized is that I was waiting for the next high, and then when you would drop from that high, it was like you were looking for the next thing to create chaos, to like feel this comfortability again. And it just was not, it's not sustainable. It's not stability. It's not a foundation of security. It's just not something that is going to last long term. But when you grow unconditional love within yourself and that peace within yourself, it's going to be mirrored back to you by your twin flame. So that is one of the things that I want you to really focus on coming into your union. I see this a lot with twin flame dynamics, especially in the community. It's like we worked really hard to get in our union, and then we get into union, and it's like, okay, what's next? Like, we just wait till the next upset, and it's like, no, you enjoy yourself, you just be with one another. But when you're looking to each other to fulfill this need, to fulfill this unconditional love, to fulfill this excitement, that's where I see a lot of the times unions start to have a lot of upsets, is because they're looking to each other to fulfill something instead of looking within themselves and giving themselves that love and that validation and reassurance that they had been giving themselves this entire time in order to come into union. But once their twin flame comes in, they like turn their direction back to the twin flame and like, oh, you're my source. Come give me what it is that I'm seeking. This is what I used to do in soulmate relationships, and it won't work. It does not, it'll backfire. So you got to learn to give yourself the unconditional love. Everything that you desire from your twin flame, you give to yourself. And this is really what helps you heal the delusion of separation, which is my next topic that I want to go into, is that the only thing that's real is love, guys. Like that is truly the truth. The only thing that is real is love. And the feeling of separation that you're experiencing is you believing in a lie that love isn't real, or that love isn't for you. And it's a loop, and it's a pattern, and it's a story that you keep playing out. And so then we think that we need to control the situation, or escape, or run, or fix it, or whatever it is that your body or your mind is telling you should do in order to get out of this illusion of separation. But the control is part of the illusion. And I also recognize that a lot of people encounter or experience a lot of suffering during this illusion as well, and then they feel like this is just their life and this is what they're going to experience, and so they try harder to part from the illusion, but instead they're just going deeper, 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 because they're not actually healing the core of the illusion. And if you bring love, because only love is real, if you bring love into that illusion's going to shatter, and you're going to recognize like, oh, the truth is I can't actually be abandoned because I choose to be with myself, and God is here with me. I can't actually live in lack because I lack nothing. In truth, like, that is the truth. And when I start to honor the fact that I can't lack anything, or I don't lack anything, and that I actually am abundant as just being me right now, and I'm just enough right now, all of these illusions start to shatter, and you start to experience more than enough. You start to experience more than enough abundance. You start to experience more than enough love. And I find that the illusion is designed to keep you in a loop, and it's designed to keep you small. But when you break that loop and you break that illusion, you start to see the truth that everything is working out for you in your favor. 1222, as I say that, everything is working out for you. And I've spoken on this in probably 2 videos before when I talk about changing your reality. It stems from your beliefs. Like, if you believe in suffering and you believe that suffering's happening to you and that's all you're going to experience, then that's exactly what you're going to create. And so the seeds that you plant now are going to bloom at some point, unless you decide to uproot those seeds and plant new seeds that are going to be more prosperous. So separation starts within, and separation is not, it does not begin physically, it actually begins internally. And that's something that most people have backwards. They think, oh, because I've separated from that person, I now feel the separation and I feel lonely. No, you felt separation as soon as you left your mama's womb, guys. Like, as soon as you were separated, that was the first time you experienced separation, is probably being separated from your mom for the first time and not feeling like your needs were going to get met. And that's the first time it was kind of really implanted into you. And so it begins inside, and it begins in the moment you choose fear over love. I see this happen all the time. This is where you get the running aspect of twin flames. This is when you run from the love, or you run from these intense feelings that they're bringing up in you, that is requiring you to look at yourself, that's requiring you to look at your patterns and your misaligned beliefs. And it's a moment that you choose control over trust, and you choose like attachment over surrender. Like, there's many things that happen when you're choosing separation. Separation is not an easy thing to choose, guys. I can tell you right now. Like, you have to keep choosing it for it to actually manifest. And so divine romance is what you want to pursue. And that is divinely romancing yourself, romancing your life, romancing love, and like choosing unconditional love, and refusing to participate in fear, refusing to participate in these beliefs that you can't have what you want, that your twin flame is never coming back, that you don't get the love that you desire, that you're not going to have the job or the opportunities that you want. I have a specific client who thinks that life is always happening to them, and that they're always being beaten down over and over again. But I know the thoughts that they have, and that's why it keeps continuing. And all I can do is continuously guide them back to just doing the mirror exercise and healing the beliefs. But you have to want to do that. You have to want to choose to change. You want to have to be the change. And sometimes people don't want to. They just want the world to change in order for them to feel better. But in truth, the only way the world is going to change, or your reality of the world is going to change, is if you change within first. And so you have to recognize that unconditional love refuses to hold stories of rejection in the consciousness. It refuses to obsess over what someone's doing. I do this a lot, man. It also refuses to manipulate or control. And if you truly love someone, would you want to seek possession of them? No. Would you want to bend their life in order to make you comfortable? No. Would you want to change the way that they are in order to like soothe your security in your, or soothe the insecurity within you? No. You want to be able to regulate yourself and take care of yourself without having to make them do anything. Because what you're saying is, if I need you to change and show up a different way, that means that you have power over me and how I show up. Your actions and your words, what you do, has complete power over me. And if you don't show up a certain way, I fall apart. Man, that's weakness right there. Like, I'll be real with you. That is such an illusion of not having power and looking to someone as your source. And that's not going to feel good for you or your twin flame. And so you can just simply love in that space. You can bring love into that space, and your internal world, your external world is going to be affected by that. So many people have resistance to this. They have resistance to recognizing that their outer state is just a reflection of their inner state. And if you want divine romance, if you want the ultimate love of your life, you have to start surrendering the story that you can't have it. And you have to let go of it, and you have to try to not continue playing it out in your mind and allow it. You have to stop allowing it to like run your life. Ultimately, like, people have so many upsets about how them and their twin flames separated, that they continuously play it over and over and over and over again in their mind, and they're just stuck in this loop, in this story, and 10 months have passed by and nothing has changed, because they haven't changed the story. They haven't changed their thoughts. They haven't changed their feelings. They haven't actually healed anything. So how you enter that inner world is you close your eyes for a moment and you really go in and ask yourself, what am I believing? What am I thinking? What is it that is on replay all the time? And you feel into it, and the material world starts to disappear, and you're just left with these feelings. And these feelings are going to feel uncomfortable, and they're going to feel sad, and they might feel like fear and emptiness. And you're going to want to like stay away from the feeling, but you have to go into the feeling. And this is where I help a lot of my clients, is like ultimately like hold their hand, and as they go into that feeling, and instead of running from it, they bring love to it so it could dissolve. They bring light to it and attention to it. And when they do that, something arises. It's usually peace. It's usually love. It's usually truth, and recognizing their divinity and their power. And the desire is not to grasp at it because you don't want it to leave. It's actually to relax into it and trust that you can actually feel these feelings of love and peace and patience at any time that you want. You can feel abundance at any time that you want. And that's true divine romance. It has nothing to do with the outside. It has to do with the spiritual inside. It has to do with the internal. So physical presence really changes nothing. Like, the physical is not going to do anything. There's many people who think that once they have the money, they're going to be happy. Once they have the love of their life, they're going to be happy. But once they have those things, they're like, I'm still missing something. Yes, because it's an internal thing. And you can physically be next to your twin flame and still feel completely alone. I remember Jeff and Shalia telling me this at one point, and I was like, no, I'll be fine. No, there's been times in my union where I'm like, I feel alone even though you're sitting on the couch right there. Like, and it's because it's an internal thing. And we have all experienced that. No amount of physical proximity creates spiritual intimacy. No amount of material finances is going to complete like how you feel inwardly. Like, you can have This is why people who are rich have so much money, but usually don't have a really good love life, because they feel completely empty and they're manifesting really empty relationships. So know that the biggest mistake that people make here on the journey is thinking that their journey is about the person. No, it's about true love with yourself, true love with God, and really truly reaping the fruits of unconditional love while practicing releasing conditional love. That has been such a huge one, is that you can't have conditional love with your twin flame and with yourself. It has to be unconditional. And conditional is when you want them to behave a certain way, when you want them to validate you, when you want them to reassure you, when you want them to fill a role. That is not unconditional love. That is conditions, and I need you to show up in a certain way so I feel better. If it's love, it's love. And you can love them where they are. You can respect them where they are. If it's not love, it's not love. It's that simple. And your true twin flame is going to reveal themselves through unconditionally loving you where you are, if you choose to unconditionally love you where you are. So remember, your union is you vibe into it. You don't force it. You don't talk your way into union. You don't manipulate your way into a union. You vibe your way into it by healing, by looking at all the places where you've had conditional love or no love, and bring unconditional love into that space. And so if you want support there, definitely feel free to reach out. Also, don't forget, you can get a romance report, guys. They're still available right now. Originally $499 for these romance reports, but right now you can get them for $129 for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is the last day you can get them. And this will help you understand some of the painful patterns that you're running and really help you move to the next step. So know that you don't have to keep running off these programs, these thought processes, this conditional love, which most people run off, and choose Ascension, choose love, essentially, and you will find that your life is going to change dramatically. Okay, so I love you guys. Peace, love, and faith. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment below. I love you guys. Bye-bye.